Hello, all you thoughtfully made people out there. It's Courtney Morrison with Made Architecture and Design, back with another week in review. So last Saturday, we traveled home from North Carolina. I posted a couple videos from up there with my mom's house, the view from the porch there. Put that out, and then was family day on Sunday, and then church that afternoon. On Monday, obviously some catch up after being out a week and just getting really acclimated to getting back into it. And then that Monday night we had a meeting with the Historic Planning Commission here in Marietta for the project that I'm doing in the Forest Hills district. Honestly, that meeting did not go very well. Not because the board was mean or rude or malicious or anything like that. They were perfectly kind, but they just were not pleased with what we had to present. And so kind of back to the drawing board. They've given some helpful input and things like that they're looking for specifically to help us align more stringently with the criteria laid out in the historic planning document. And so we are already working through changes on that project. Then on Tuesday, I worked on the revisions for the historic remodel project, and then I went and had a meeting Tuesday afternoon with my client and landscape architect who I like working with, Red Cedar, and we met because we're doing this mother-in-law suite in the city of Roswell, and because we're within 200 feet of state waters and we're adding over 1,000 feet of impervious surface, we need to do some stormwater management and a land disturbance permit. And the current yard is nice, and so they want it put back nice. And so the landscape architect really fits the bill for that. He'll be able to get us through the jurisdictional requirements for the land disturbance permitting and the stormwater mitigation techniques or measures, and give them a beautifully landscaped yard on the back end. So we had a meeting with him, talked through all the criteria, talked through what we know about from the city of Roswell, and information that we got from a pre-application meeting, as well as the client's desires and wants and needs and things like that. There's pretty extreme topographical challenges just from the way the driveway comes in and slopes up, and then the where the finished floor is in the new mother-in-law suite addition needing to be on plane with that, and the garage being a zero entry threshold, that there will be no stairs in the garage and things. So it's actually it's only 1,000 square foot addition, but it requires a lot of thought, honestly, to be able to work it all out. So that meeting went really well. That client is really nice, and we're enjoying working with them. And like I said, I love working with Red Cedar, Matthew Toole. He's great. So then on Wednesday, I had a leadership team meeting for the church that we're planting, and trying to just help steer and guide that organization. On Thursday, I had a surprise opportunity to go play golf with a friend of mine who works for a big national contractor here in Atlanta. He and I did a project down in Chamblee together, 2015 to 2020-ish, give or take, and managed to remain cordial, better than cordial friends throughout that process. And he invited me to play golf. And so really, I've talked about that before. I try to keep my schedule as flexible and open as possible, so when opportunities like that arise, I'm able to say yes. And even if I have to work a night or an evening or even a weekend, I can do that pretty guilt-free. And so it was great to get out there, meet some new people, make some new introductions, and just always fun to play golf. And then I worked with my project architect in Chicago, who is working on a project with me here in town. A family who's going to do a pretty significant remodel in addition to their house. She is working on updating drawings for them. And then on Friday, I worked through just updating the financials as we closed down quarter 3, looked at quarter 4, and honestly starting to look into 2026, which is pretty hard to believe, but it's never too early to plan. And so working on that. One of the things that I'm going to do in 2026, and I'm starting to figure out now, is I'm going to track time. So let me talk about this a little bit. When I was an employee with an architecture firm, I worked for 3-4 different firms, and they were meticulous about time and utilization rates and billable rates and all that stuff. And when I left in 21, I left in a pretty burnt out state, and I resolved that I would never track time again. It just was soul crushing. And so when I started Made in 21, I just thought, hey, I'll put good fees out there and we'll do the work. And if we make money, we lose money, whatever. It's my responsibility. I'm not tracking time. And I haven't. But now, as I continue to grow the business and we're having good financial results this year, I'm looking to refine my processes a little bit. And so I am thinking that I'm going to track time. And so I have a friend who's an architect here in town, and he and I talked a little bit, and he told me he uses Toggle, so I started using Toggle a little bit. I'm also going to try out Harvest because I want to be able to plan resources and give time specific to phases, so I know kind of what phases are making money or costing money or whatever it is. And so I'm trying to figure that out. It's part of just growing the business, and so maybe I've healed enough from the timesheet era of my past, and now I'm ready to embark on that for myself, for my own business. We'll see. I don't know. I'll keep you guys posted on how it goes. But yeah, so I had lunch with a structural engineer, somebody who I actually have known socially for a little while, but I didn't actually know he was a structural engineer. He does some a variety of things, kind of has a niche in doing some aluminum canopy work, which is interesting. And so he and I had lunch and talked shop and things like that. And so I really enjoyed getting to know him a little bit more and connect over lunch. So that was fun. And then Saturday, we did canvassing with my friend Daniel Gaddis, who's running for city council here in Marietta in Ward 3. And we went out and knocked on, 100 plus doors, trying to meet some neighbors and talk to people and really just drum up some support and get people out to vote because it's important, it's critical, and Daniel is the guy who is qualified to do this job here in Marietta in Ward 3. And so we're happy to support him and get out there and encourage people to do the same. So that is all we have for this week. If you have any questions about who we are, what we do, or how we do it, please leave them in the comments below. I would love to interact with you guys there, or perhaps even address a comment in a future week in review. So, and please be sure to like and subscribe. That really does help. But in the meantime, you guys be particular, and we'll talk next week.